Hi. Good afternoon. It is morning for me. I am in Phoenix and dealing with a little bit of lighting here. So hopefully y'all can see me okay. It is 8:30 in the morning here, and I'm so excited to be talking to you on your almost lunch hour. I am Katie Mares, and I wanted to welcome you to CX is Non-Negotiable, 5-star secrets with me. And today we're going to challenge you to look at your business processes. Because what we do inside our business impacts the way the customer receives a process, receives an experience. That saying, you are what you eat. What you put in your body is how your body reacts and how it is healthy. It's the same with your business and the guest experience. Unfortunately, most businesses design their processes that make their life easier, that makes their operation easier. Thank you, Allison. Allison says, we see you in the light makes me think of your light. So thank you so much. But yes, back to the process here. Here's the thing. When you design a process, I want you to think throughout this conversation. Are you designing a process to fix a need for your team, or do you take that process and flip the lens and think about how it's going to impact your customer? Sometimes that operations process, system, SOP, standard operating practice, might make it easier for you, but it may make it harder for your customer. And when that's the case, that is a recipe for unhappy guests. So let me ask you, who are you really designing your processes for? Are you designing them for your team or for your customer? Now, I do believe that there are internal processes that do need to be designed and executed for your team, but those internal processes should never be externally received or experienced by your customer. Anything that is customer facing, anything that your customer will interact with, that process should be designed with your guest in mind. I recently did an audit of dealership websites, and I found so much, and I found a lot of things that stopped me in my track, and unfortunately things that made me frustrated as a customer. So number one, I found a ton of chatbots. Now I know every website has it. AI is the thing, great, but are you training your bots to feel human? Or are you training them to serve your purpose to be able to collect the data, then eventually call your customers? Is your AI technology humanized? What you put into that technology is what that technology puts out to your customer. Have you really truly looked at your site and at your online AI partner, vendor, and thought to yourself, is this developing, designing, and then executing an experience your customer wants to receive? Because what I experienced was the complete opposite. I had somebody on multiple websites. I mean, it wasn't it was a bot that continuously just asked me for my name, my phone number, my email, my name, my phone number, my email. Didn't ask how I was doing, didn't ask what I actually needed. When I tried to get out of them what I needed, I got asked again for your name, your phone number, and your email. Another thing I found on all of the sites was that phone numbers to actually get a hold of somebody were buried at the bottom. And when I finally found a phone number that I could make a live call to, I was handed to a switchboard maze. another barrier for a customer. And I think the thing that I found the most, what's the word I'm looking for, disheartening, was the fact that on your team's pages, and I audited a lot of dealerships, on your team's pages, women were not represented towards the top. They weren't even salt and peppered through the team pages. They were at the bottom. Y'all, I'm not going to go into this today, but I am going to make a mention here. Women are your number one consumer. They influence 85% of all vehicle purchases, and between 60 to 70% of all ROs are said yes to by women. Women want to do work with businesses in which they see themselves in. Your website, although designed for you, probably designed by position, meaning you have your general managers, your leaders, then your sales, then your service directors, then your service advisors, then your BDC. And those roles where women do sit in your dealerships are towards the bottom. If you want more women to enter your dealerships, if you want more women to give you a chance, then I suggest you turn that right side up. Again, from the inside, these little things might not seem like a really big deal. This audit, I mean, I don't even know when's the last time you audited your site. When's the last time you went on your site? You know, are your hours right? Have you tested your chatbot? Is it frustrating? Have you had a family member, another team member, or a friend do the same? From the inside, the decisions that you've made, I can almost guarantee you've made them to make it easier for you and your team. And it might make sense. This is how it's organized. This is easier for us to get the information we need. But from the outside, it feels transactional. It's actually quite frustrating. And I had to stop looking at websites. Anyway, I'm going to go back to that question that I just asked. Who are you really designing your process for? Your team or your customer? Yes, Chris, every response should provide value to the customer 1000%, because here it is, folks. You ready for a mic drop moment? It's not about you. The experience you're providing is not about you. It is about your customer. Therefore, any process that is put in place needs to be flipped. You need to put yourself in your customer's shoes in order to design an experience that they cannot live without. What emotion are you aiming for your customer to feel? Nail that down and design your experience backwards so that everything you do is going to evoke that emotion on how you want to make your customer feel. And that there is where when you start to connect, you start to gain trust, you start to know, I like you, I know you, I trust you, and you create loyalty. Unfortunately, we are so busy being busy that we do not create processes and systems operationally with the guest in mind. We do, though, create these things with us in mind. But as I just said, it's not about you. You're not serving you. You're serving your guest. Let's take an online example here. Amazon. Like them or hate them, I don't know. I am pro Amazon. It makes my life so much easier. Jeff Bezos says it best. We obsess over our customers. Amazon didn't build a process to make things easier for Amazon. They built the process to make it easier for their end user. Everyone on this live right now, everyone listening, knows that they can click the app and within 5, probably less actually, 4 clicks, you will have something at your doorstep, the thing you needed the very next day. One-click ordering, frictionless returns, personalized recommendations. Now, I'm not saying y'all need to be Amazon. That's not what I'm saying. But I am saying this. If you want loyalty, you have to obsess over your customer's perception. So I want you to ask yourself, write these questions down. Who am I designing my processes around? Am I designing them around the end user or my internal needs? And be honest. Hold up the mirror, be humble, truly ask yourself, when you put a new process in place, when you figure out there is something that needs to change, is it because your customer is asking for that change? Or is it because you needed to make it easier for your employees, for your team members? Now, again, there's nothing wrong with that. An internal process should make it easier for team members to execute their job, without a doubt. However, anything that is customer facing, anything that your customer interacts with should be designed with them in mind, not you in mind. And here's where many leaders get it wrong. Listen, internal tools should be built for your internal customer, your employees, just like I said. And your external tools, they must be built for the external customer, the guest, the one paying your bills. If you mix those up, you end up with processes that frustrate both your employees and your customers. Let's take a look at a CRM as an example. Internal CRMs are usually clunky for employees, therefore they avoid using it and the data gets messy. An external website is hard to navigate, which means your customers leave before they ever reach your sales team. When you audit your tools, and I want you to write this down. This is a little tangible tip that you could take away. Just looking at that example, when you audit all your tools and all your operational processes, I want you to label them. Is it internal or external? Then I want you to ask, does this process serve the person it's meant for? When you look at all your tools, so your CRM, your phone lines, your website, your non-negotiable standards, if you have them for the guest experience, the walk around, any tool, any process that your team members execute, I want you to write them all down. And then I want you to label each one of them. Is it an internal tool or an external tool? Is it an internal operational process, SOP, standard operating process, or is it an external operating process? And be honest, because then I want you to ask, does my current process, my current operating process, my current tool, is it serving the person it's meant to serve? Thanks, Doug here says, internal tools that make the employee's job easier translates to a better customer experience. Wouldn't you agree? 100%. I think I said that just a few minutes ago, it will. When the internal tools are functioning, well-oiled machine as a team and everybody can use it, it does make the external customer's experience incredible. However, if there is a external process, so let's say the website, the customer-facing website, was that website or is that website built intuitively from a customer's point of view? And I agree, Peter, it could potentially make it better. However, If the tool is impacting the guest experience and that guest has to interact with it, I would wager that if it's not built with the guest in mind, then it doesn't make the experience any better. I'll go right back to the Amazon example that I just gave. With Amazon, they built that entire platform and app website with the guest in mind. How can I easily create an experience the guest wants to be a part of? It wasn't built with the employee in mind. It's an external tool. So which one of your tools is appropriately built, and are you using them to serve the person it's meant to serve, or are you just serving yourself? When processes are designed for operations instead of customers, here's what happens. Guests feel like numbers and not people. Employees feel stuck in systems they can't stand behind, and leadership assumes that this is just how it is. Y'all, consistency plus ease plus care equals trust, and that trust is what keeps your customers coming back. And so the moment you stop obsessing over convenience for your operation and you start obsessing over the customer's experience, you will win. It's a tangible little action item that I think everyone could benefit from. Auditing your current tools. And is it really serving the person it's supposed to? Peter, if you want to change the CX and stop heading to 20 groups and create a focus 20 internally with customers that didn't buy from you, this will change your process fast. 100%. Give the customer a voice. I think it was a couple of lives ago where I mentioned that your negative reviews are the answers to your test. And just like Peter is saying here, that if you audit your 20 customers and ask them what they don't like or why they didn't buy from you, that will tell you exactly what needs to change within your business. Giving your customers a voice is always a great tactic to really understanding what they need and want when doing business with you, flipping that lens and putting yourself in your customer's shoes. I absolutely love that, Peter. All right, so I'm going to give you some tangible steps to shift today because I think it's important every time we get on these mini lives here where we talk about how to elevate that guest experience, where I want to leave you with something that you can actually do different. We've talked about, as I just mentioned, pulling all your 4-star reviews and below and putting them into ChatGPT and asking for the commonalities of what your guests are saying that you need to change, the answers to the test, taking those golden nuggets and making action items. This one I think is equally as important, especially as technology is often used or processes are used as band-aids because something has gone wrong. So we've decided to put a process in place. It's important to know when we put those processes in place, who we're actually serving and building the process for. So I want you to do this and write this down. I hope you do it. I hope it's something you take seriously, especially with this online, because everyone starts their car shopping experience and even looking up for where they will service their vehicle. It is all done online. So I want you to audit online touch points, all your online touch points. I want you to ask yourself from a customer's point of view, is it easy to call? Is it easy to chat? Is it easy to make an appointment? Or are your customers sort of stuck in a maze? Can you see the women that work in your business? Because women want to do business where they see themselves in. Is it easy to see that women can come in and be you guys can be trustworthy. I want you to walk in your customer's shoes. I want you to go through your websites. I want you to go through your service processes as if you know nothing, as if you are a customer. And mark down, where do you get stuck? Flip that lens. Perception is reality. Put yourself in your customer's shoes, because you'll hear me say this all the time. Your perception, unfortunately, doesn't matter when it comes to the experience the customer is receiving. The only perception that matters is that of the customer. So walk through all your online touchpoints, your social media, your website, go through all your service processes, drive up through the service drive, walk through the dealership door, drive through your lot as if you know absolutely nothing, and mark down where you get stuck. And I love Peter's idea. Get a group of 20 customers that gave you 4-star or 3-star and below, or that didn't buy from you, if you have that information, and ask them why. They're going to give you the most amazing information, and that's that information that you can use to change the process, change the experience, and create one that's right for them. So once you've gone through all of this and you've written down where you get stuck, I don't want you to ask, well, what's easiest for us? Because y'all, the result you want, the success you're looking for, is on that other side of I don't feel like it. So it's not about you and how easy it is for you to execute. It's about the customer. I want you to ask what's easier for them, for the guest. The processes you design determine the perception customers carry with them. Perception drives trust. Trust drives loyalty, and loyalty drives revenue. And I know everyone is after revenue. That's how we keep a business afloat. But we don't have revenue without happy guests. And if those guests aren't loyal, we won't have a consistent revenue flowing through. When you build with the customer in mind, the money flows. It always flows. So here's my challenge for you. Pick one process this week. It could just be one. After you've done your audit, pick one process this week. Ask, does this serve my team or serve my customer? And if the answer isn't your customer, get on the other side of I don't feel like it and make the changes necessary so it does. A 5-star experience isn't about making life easier for you. Although once you've nailed the 5-star experience, you'll see just how easy it is to serve the customer. At the end, it really does impact the ease of your job and how you show up every day. But creating this 5-star experience is about making it easy to do business for your customer. Making them feel special and cared for. Because y'all, CX, it isn't optional. It's the tiebreaker. And there are so many touch points throughout the journey that your customer interacts with you that accumulate to an experience they can't live without, and that is non-negotiable. I hope that you've taken away something today, because at the end of the day, it is not about you, it is about your customer. And I know I've said it like 3 times and I might sound like a broken record, but that's the reality. I was just on the phone with a dealer and, he said, I believe in all of this. I believe in creating experiences for our guests, and I believe that it's the tiebreaker, but I can't seem to get my people to do what I want them to do consistently with every guest every time. I leaned in a little closer and I said, well, do you have that process in place with your customer in mind, or do you create processes for just your employees? And that kind of stopped him in his tracks, just like my website audit stopped me in mine. They talk about it, but they don't create the process in order for their employees to be successful at delivering an experience that is non-negotiable. And that's truly where the rubber hits the road. It's all good to think about wanting to be the best at delivering an experience, to provide a hospitality-like experience within the dealership. It is a whole other to actually create those systems and processes that allow it to make it come to life. We get so busy being busy. You get so busy being busy that you just put a Band-Aid on some of these solutions, and it usually is a Band-Aid that helps ease your job and doesn't necessarily positively impact the experience the guest is receiving. I really, truly love Peter's insights here, because your customers, and I couldn't agree more, your customers will tell you everything you need to know. And if you haven't asked your customers, if you don't want to look at those reviews, then just audit from a customer's point of view. Flip that lens. I do this exercise all the time, and I don't know if it's going to work here because I have the blur on in the background. But if I'm looking at my phone, I see my vision board and I see the time and I see a do not disturb light on, but you looking at through the camera, you see my red nails and my gold heart and the gold trim and a black case and a camera, and we are looking at the exact same object, but we see two totally different things. Perception is reality, and it's not until you flip that lens that you see what I see. Now you see my vision board, all my dreams. You see what I saw, and I see what you see. Knowing that the customer's experience is not about you, becoming aware that you need to flip that lens and put yourself in their shoes, knowing what they want to feel when they are experiencing doing business with you, feeling special and cared for and thought of, they want to feel something amazing, allows you to work backwards to design an experience that is just right for them. Please don't get stuck in designing experiences that are right for you. There is I think I've had this study, I've shared this study before on one of these lives here, but a study done by Bain & Company, where they surveyed 300 organizations and they asked the question, do you feel you provide an exceptional experience? And 80% of them were like, heck yes, we do. What they didn't know is they were surveying 3,000 of their customers, and they asked them a slightly different question. Do you feel you're receiving an exceptional experience? Only 8% said yes. And that's a giant canyon-sized perception gap. So when you're designing a new website, when you're thinking about a post that you're going to put up, when you are going to choose a new piece of technology that you're going to bring in to the fold, when you are switching up an operational process, ask yourself, is this internal or external? Is it for my employee or my customer? And as you're designing it, are you designing it in a way that serves the appropriate customer? That's what I'll leave you with today. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your week. And I'm so glad you joined me today. And I hope that you took some nuggets. Have the best day, y'all.